Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Assalamualaikum. So now we are going to interview at the plant to our guest
Suffian Amrin.
From IKIM, right?
Okay.
So we will meet again.
Mudah ku tinggalkan keluarga bila tiba masanya, rindu mulai terasa, berkecamuk hati, hatinya sendiri, persoalannya kini sampai bila.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, today we will conduct our interview in Sekolah Agama Menengah Tinggi Syamuddin. Okay, here we will conduct the interview with one of the personality who are the DJ radio for the IKIM.FM. Okay, his name is Brother Suffian Amrin. Okay, here we will conduct here.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to introduce my group mate. He is Hafizuddin. My name is Imam, Rokib, Jamil, and Wan. And I would like to introduce our guest.
Brother Suffian Amrin. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay.
So we would like to interview, and first question is, could you provide a little background information about yourself, sir?
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First and foremost, my name is Muhammad Suffian bin Amrin. I come from Muar, Johor. Born in Melaka and grown up in Muar, Johor. And studied in Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang for my secondary school, and then I continued my study in International Islamic University in law studies, and then I continued furthermore in communications in Northern University Malaysia, UUM, University Utara Malaysia. Alhamdulillah, I've been working with Radio IKIM FM as a radio announcer, part-time radio announcer to be specific, for about nearly 5 years, since 2010. And what else for background? I'm married.
Yeah.
I have one wife, no children yet, inshallah. And besides being a radio announcer, I also active in nasheed as a munshid or singer, so-called singer in nasheed genre, for about 18 years, since 1997, with my group Saujana, from our school time in Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang. So I do so many or numbers of part-time jobs, which is radio announcer. I have nasheed group, and I am also a trainer and MC. I do event management jobs. So all those part-time jobs combined being my full-time jobs.
Oh, that's great, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
So next, who do you work for? Could you tell us little about your organization in terms of history, mission, and vision?
Okay, I'm working for Radio IKIM FM, which is one unit under IKIM, which is Institute Kefahaman Islam Malaysia. So the vision and mission of IKIM is spreading Islamic understanding towards the people, the Ummah and the society. So IKIM has 5 units under IKIM, or Institute of Islamic Understanding Malaysia, which is they have one Shara unit, or which works for legal matters, and secondly for economic and society and social matters. Thirdly, sciences and sciences lah, third unit, and the fourth is our Radio IKIM FM, which plays big role of mass media and communication. So we will share everything that's the researchers and we have fellows from all the units that will spread the messages through our radio FM.
Oh,
Okay.
that's great. IKIM main vision is to spread Islamic understanding to the Ummah. And next question is, when did you first start working in the organization and how did you get the job?
Okay. Okay. I've been working with IKIM FM for about nearly 5 years, since 2010. So at that time, I went for an interview and audition to be radio announcer, and that time was my third attempt. I tried the very first time long time ago, and second time, and in 2010 was my third attempt. So I went to the interview audition. So they asked me to what we call handle a radio program. Then alhamdulillah I passed the interview and got the job, alhamdulillah.
So next question is, what's your current job scope and what are the types of skills needed to perform this job?
I must speak fluently. I mean, I have to be talkative and informative as well. And if we are talkative, then we can be just anybody else. But we must be informative so that all the informations, all the knowledge, and all the vision, especially of the radio and our institute, will be spread in a well manner and can reach the people, especially the listeners, perfectly and efficiently, inshallah.
What are the types of skills needed to perform this job?
Okay, one of the most important skills that needed to be a radio anchor or radio announcer is to be what we call capable to share informations and through radio, because radio is one different type of media. I mean, to reach the people, especially to the listeners. We don't see our listeners in front of us. We can't get any responses or reactions from our listeners at once, because the listeners will be listening from their radio at home, in their vehicles, mobile, and so on. And then so we must have the skill of sharing and spreading the words. We must choose the very best words for the listeners to listen to, and we must have appropriate jokes, so-called, and we must know how to penetrate the listeners to stay tuned with us, so that if once I have this experience of once we mistakenly share one incorrect story, so the people will immediately email or SMS us as their response to us. So we must be careful with our words and so on. Especially in Radio IKIM FM, we are Islamic radio, so we must have some what we call knowledge and good choice of words and ayat and ahadith as well.
So basically, it is the spontaneous.
Spontaneous, of course, we must speak naturally. We don't need at first, at the beginning, we have some script to refer on, and later on when we used to it, then inshallah we can speak naturally.
Can you explain your current job scope?
Okay. I work for the radio on air for about 4 hours a day. So before we go to on air and to the studio, we must have some preparations. So the preparation is done through meetings and discussions with our producer. We have producers, assistant producers. We have even our boss into the group. And we pick and choose topics to be discussed with the listeners, I mean, to be aired in the program, in 4 hours program. So we have preparation, and during on air, among our job scope are to handle the console the what we call the digital materials and digital equipments in the studio, including handling the console, the microphones, the fader,
The music.
the studio lah.
type of the
Yeah,
equipment
the equipments in the studio. We have also the internet in the studio, so that we can read all the comments and sharing from our listeners. So everything in the studio are what we call among our job scope to be handled. And later on, after the program, after 4 hours on air, we discuss again for post-mortem, and we plan what to share on the next day.
We want you to advise or recommend the students.
Okay.
What will be your recommendation or suggestion?
For my brothers and sisters out there who have interest, especially in media, should it be radio, TV, press, newspapers, magazines? The first and foremost thing you must have is interest, passion. If we love what we do, then we do what we love. Everything you need will be with you. If you need money to be your salary, then money will come. If you love what you do, if you love your job and do what you love, and then if you want to be great, or if you want to increase or develop yourself in your job, then you can get that if you are passionate in your job. And secondly, you must have a lot of homework to be done, not in the class as well, only, but in our job, when we have our career, homework is one important thing. Before we step into our workstation or studio or anything, you must have enough preparation. You must read a lot. You must browse or Google a lot. And
You must know our surroundings.
yes, we must know our surroundings. Who will we face? Who will we meet later on? So that is one important preparation. And thirdly, you must you know what to do. You must know to whom you speak to. You must know your audience and target group in your media. Inshallah, everything will be okay lah. Inshallah.
No. Can you tell us? History, the background of Saujana group. Okay.
So Saujana has been founded about 18 years ago, since 1997, in our secondary school, which is Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang. So we were 5 that time, and now we are only 4. We have only 4 members in the group. And Alhamdulillah, for me, in my personal opinion, being in the industry, nasheed industry, being on the dakwah stage and being together with our members in Saujana has been the advantage for me to be involved in this media industry, when I use all my experiences with Saujana and in dakwah to share with the listeners every day. Because when we work every day, when we what we call on air every day, we must have different type of contents to be shared with the listeners. We can't have same material or same point to be shared every day with the listeners. The listeners will be bored. And so when I have about 18 years of experience with Saujana in dakwah, so I have that, I use that experience to share with the listeners. That's my kind of advantage.
Nang Samsung.
Sekeping hati dibawa berlari, jauh melalui jalanan sepi. Jalan kebenaran indah terbentang di depan matamu para pejuang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Muhammad Suffian Amrin from the nasheed group Saujana, and I work with Radio IKIM FM, pilihan utama anda.